Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. Ubisoft will not tolerate any of your nonsense, poopy pants, mean criticism, because if you aren't nice at all about their Assassin's Creed Shadows game, well, they're just going to have to take some sort of action against you, because criticism, well, that's harassment, right? That's something we hear over and over and over again. They're harassing me, when all we're doing is criticizing your garbage, your action, your TV show, movie, and your video games. Now, of course, there are some people out there, this is unavoidable, people who will take it to the next level and start sending actual threats. We condemn those people. Doesn't matter what side of this argument on. Don't do that. It's bad. But when you have Ubisoft coming out here, according to The Gamer, reportedly has a plan to protect devs from harassment when Assassin's Creed Shadows launches. Well, I have some bad news for you. Keep them off social media. Easy enough. Don't let them get on Twitter, on X, on TikTok, whatever you want to call it, because this game will be taken to task, and it will be 100% the developers' fault for what is to come. And like I said, don't be a D-bag about it. There's no reason to send threats, personal insults, but it is unavoidable, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not. It is unavoidable because this is the internet. Ignore them, block them, move on with your lives. But how far exactly does Ubisoft plan to go with this protection plan? Who's going to decide what is harassment, what is criticism, what is too far? And that is the question that we always have. Who decides how far is too far? It's hard to imagine that morale has been great at Ubisoft since Assassin's Creed Shadows reveal. I don't think it has anything to do with the game. It might have to do with the stock prices tanking, plummeting out of control. Maybe it has something to do with that little bitty lawsuit over at Ubisoft where some of the head honchos are being taken to task for their behavior inside the studio, at least the allegations of said behavior. Not too much worried about a buyout from Tencent, maybe going from not so majority shareholder to a vast majority shareholder. And apparently Ubisoft is looking into selling off some of its IP. So I'm going to see where that goes. But let's get back to this topic at hand. The first trailer was released last spring, and since then, the game has been hit with delays, and the studio has faced layoffs because, well, I guess you're not making enough money when you put out garbage slop after garbage slop. What you gonna do? How many people are still playing Star Wars Outlaws? That game landed like a wet fart in a locked car. But of course, the main story surrounding Assassin's Creed Shadows is the backlash, that the criticism. It's criticism based on what Ubisoft came out and told the potential customers, how respectful and authentic and how much they were going to, well, I guess I'll say respect again, Japanese culture, when come to find out it was anything but respect. At least it came across as anything but respect, with one, inability to read the room after another. Done numerous videos. Hell, countless people have done countless videos on this subject. It just doesn't seem like Ubisoft can catch a break, and I don't think they deserve one. The main story surrounded is the backlash as the anti-woke, anti-DEI, anti-whatever. It's called criticism based on Ubisoft's message. It's not anti-woke. You decided to make a game set in feudal Japan, something Assassin's Creed fans have been begging for, and you decided to make the male protagonist a black man, regardless of whether or not he's historically authentic, something I don't believe that Ubisoft has done with Assassin's Creed. Now, they had authentic historical characters in the game, but they were not the protagonist. Main character has always been, well, generic everyman. Yes, they had a name, they had a story, but they were never an actual, formerly living, breathing person. Except, interestingly enough, this time. But heaven forbid, if you criticize that, if you say anything negative about that decision, well, you're just a filthy little racist, aren't you? whatever it's called now, movement. Let's disrespect your potential readers, but hey, what do you expect from the gamer? Made the game its latest target. Again, whose fault is it? Ubisoft's statements on where they wanted to go and how they wanted to portray the game versus what the game actually came across to be. This was all because Yasuke, one of the game's protagonists. Oh, it's not the only reason. While critics say that they take issue with the shadows referring to Yasuke as a samurai, yeah, which is historically inaccurate, it doesn't take a lot of looking to find violently racist imagery and language being used towards the game and its depiction of its black protagonist. How about putting hip-hop music when Yasuke's on screen? That's not racist, right? No, we're not going to, putting stereotypical Japanese-inspired hip-hop beats when Yasuke is, well, slaughtering NPCs, beating them up left, right, and center. Nah, that's not the problem. The people criticizing that decision, they're the problem. They're the racist. The gaslighting in articles like this is just so prevalent. You can see it from a mile away. It's like a billboard on the side of the interstate that you just simply cannot miss. Oh, miss. Anyway, the backlash was intense with Elon Musk joining in on the hate. Elon Musk's statement was not even directed at Assassin's Creed. It was a response about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and forced diversity, equity, and inclusion. Organic DEI, there's really nothing wrong with that, but unfortunately, DEI has become synonymous with inorganic, forced, checkbox, hired for the sake of being hired, to pat yourself on the back and get brownie points all across the internet and with your friends in the studio. Now it seems that Ubisoft is prepared for this to get even worse at launch. I can't imagine how that's possible. It could get even worse because, well, it's pretty much at the bottom of the barrel. Unless Ubisoft goes out and hands content creators a big stick of dynamite, some C4 with the charges, I don't see how this could possibly get worse. I don't predict the game is going to be all that well received. I think Yasuke is going to be the least of this game's problems. After watching all the bugs, all the problems, all the glitches that people had with Star Wars Outlaws, I don't see Assassin's Creed Shadows being any better. It's easy enough to predict that the AI is going to be abysmal at best. What are we supposed to expect? The most recent game that Ubisoft put out was an overpriced pile of slop. I would expect Shadows to be nothing less than the same. This reportedly includes, where was I? Ubisoft is said to have implemented a plan to protect its devs. Just keep them offline. Ta-da! They are protected. Stay off social media. It's just that simple. You don't want to hear the criticism, see the criticism, or anything like that. You don't want to watch the videos. No one is forcing anyone to read the posts or watch the videos. You already have a habit of locking the replies on the YouTube video, so why not continue down that path and ignore the criticism? Because you have for sure ignored every bit of criticism since the trailer was launched. You've even said so much. You're only going to listen to who you want to listen to. Reportedly includes offering psychological and legal support. Psychological support because you're a thin-skinned little pansy. Legal support against what? Now, for sure, if someone is sending death threats and harassment, like actual harassment, I know where you live, or trying to dox an Ubisoft employee, yes, absolutely. Go at them to the fullest extent within the law. I agree 100%. We don't want those types of people on our side either. We're not interested. They make us look bad. Not part of the plan. But who is there to decide, like I said before, who is there to make that decision on what is and is not actual harassment? Oh no, he said a mean word online. He doesn't like my game and called me a poopy face. I'm going to sue him. We'll see how that works out for you. Legal support, psychological and legal support, and is part of a Canadian initiative against online abuse. Again, no one is forcing you to be online. Close your phone, close that Google tab, Close the Google Chrome tab or whatever browser you decide to use. Maybe in Ubisoft they use Internet Explorer based on the development and based on how their game comes out. I wouldn't be surprised if they use Microsoft Internet Explorer. Just close the tab. Get offline. Go outside and touch grass. Hey, go to GDC and scream at the sky. But you'll be able to get away from all those nasty, naughty, ugly, ugly words that hurt your delicate feelings. Ubisoft is prepared for Assassin's Creed Shadows backlash turning into abuse. How? Please tell me, how can backlash, criticism, even nasty, naughty words turn into actual abuse when you can block, ignore, and move on with your life? I do not, and I never will, understand it. Unfortunately, this is something companies have to account for now. I know I'm repeating myself, and I do apologize, but just get off the internet. Just that simple. Of course, the attacks have been going on for some months now. Show them. Prove it. Show it. Screenshots. Where's your receipts? Show your receipts or STFU. Ladies and gentlemen, show your receipts or shut the fuck up. Quote, we're advised not to post on social media. Ta-da! Problem solved. Just that simple. Problem is solved. Don't get online. Take your account private. Really? You're going to get backlash and criticism and name-calling no matter what you do. Lock your account. Protect your account. Stay in communication, because honestly, if all people are going to do is insult you as your abilities as a video game developer, why on earth would you want to listen to that? The game's going to be a failure. It's going to be less of a success than Ubisoft wants it to be. Not sure how much of a failure. A few million sales easily, because again, it is Assassin's Creed. But if you're so concerned about the harassment, lock your account. Ta-da! How could I have ever thought of something? We're advised not to post on social media that we work at Ubisoft to avoid harassment. Well, unfortunately, the internet autists will find out. So just don't. Just don't. Get offline. Says one Ubisoft worker quoted in the report, translated from French. As part of this, Ubisoft is said to be working with the Canadian Communications Security Establishment and has drafted up a plan to combat harassment. How's that going to work across national lines, across international lines? Honestly, do you firmly believe that you could extradite someone from another country because they said mean, nasty, naughty words that weren't threatening your life? But again, someone's threatening your life, go after him to the full extent of the law. They called you a poopy head. I don't know. Grow a thick skin. Here's the quote. It's an initiative from Canada, which we don't really care about right now. There's a team that monitors, and I believe Canada doesn't really care about the United States right now, too. So, hey, kudos to them. There's a team that monitors networks and acts quickly in the event of a targeted attack. Again, interesting words here. What do you consider a targeted attack? Perhaps a video such as mine calling out Ubisoft and their developers and this, what likely will be an atrocity of a video game. Is that a targeted attack? Simply talking about it? Giving my opinion of the nonsense you're putting out there? We shall see. Another source quoted, unlike what we've had before, this is serious. Maybe if you decided to be serious about the video game you were developing and more, I don't know, do a little bit more research so that maybe the architecture was more Japanese, feudal Japan, instead of, I don't know, Chinese, maybe instead of stealing, copying a banner from a reenactment group, make your own. Do a little more digging. Do more actual research that you claimed you were trying to do. And put more work into it. Put more effort into it. Maybe treat that as being serious. Assassin's Creed Shadows launches on March 20th, just 3 days from now. We got a lot of stuff coming out this week, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have to wait and see where it lands with fans and critics. Well, the gamer, you already know where this is going to land from fans. Well, at least from the critics that you claim to be nothing more than racist little man babies. Yeah, I put that little word in there for myself. But hey, It's the gamer. What more would you expect? I'm sure they're behind the scenes ripping, just ready for those articles about the reason why Assassin's Creed Shadows failed is because of all the racist critics and Yahtzees online that just don't want to play a game with a black man as the protagonist, which is quantifiably and provably false. We all know that. It's nonstop gaslighting against critics. A lot of critics out there who have reasonable and, well, understandable, same word, whatever, criticism about the game and how Ubisoft is handling it and the reporting and the marketing and all these other things. But they're all ignored because they go against the narrative. You're supposed to have diversity and inclusion in a feudal Japanese game, but whatever. More and more and more. We only have 3 days left. The embargo, I believe, lifts on the 18th. Reviews will start to come out, and I have no doubt in my mind that the usual suspects, the bought and paid for shills, will praise this game to the nines, left, right, and center. If you're interested in this game, I do recommend hold on to your wallet. Do not pre-order. Wait for trusted reviews. Wait for people to put their money where their mouth is, who are not getting free trips to Los Angeles and California, or getting swag and get to take pictures with some of the prop weapons all over the place. Don't listen to them. They are biased by nature. Wait for someone to put their money where their mouth is. Wait for someone you trust. Find multiple channels that you trust. And vote with your wallet. Wait to see what they have to say. But let me know what you have to say in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike. Do all those nifty little things us YouTubers beg you to do. And I hope to see you on the next one.